You know the best time to add insult to injury? When you're siding somebody's plaster cast. Boy, actually it's a really sunny day. Welcome to the Allotment Diaries, part of Adventure in Taste and Time. This week we will be looking at the asparagus that finally arrived, the plant globe artichoke news, and general positivity. More positive than negative this week. Hurrah! So, over to plot 35. Well, it's a gorgeous day, and first time I'm doing these in sunglasses. If you remember, I found some rhubarb growing where I normally park the car, so I've shifted it with some extra manure over here where I can't put the car anyway, and I'll give them another water after this video because it's suffering a bit, but hopefully just temporary. Things tend to suffer after being moved or transplanted. Across the orchard zone, beginning to see some life on which might give me some currants and maybe even some gooseberries later. We shall see. Gooseberries might get one or two, but hopefully they're all growing for future years. That's over here. Raspberries, you wouldn't believe it, but I have been weeding these a few times, but they are growing quite quickly now. Rhubarb is coming along. We won't pick any this year, but it's new growth, but you know, I'm quite satisfied with that. And the asparagus bed already, they're all lurking under there. So, and here the asparagus crowns arrived. This is how they're packaged, and if I could get it all in shot, this is how they look. I had to re-excavate the ridge that goes along the centre of the trench a bit, placed the asparagus crown, then measure 30 centimetres and put the next one in. After measuring the first one, I was able to do it by eye after that. So the top of the root sits on top of the ridge with the roots trailing down each side. And backfill. And then do exactly the same on the other side. This time it went along. Rake all the soil over the two trenches, and only then am I able, because the soil had to go in between the two original trenches, dig the third and middle one. Some manure at the bottom. Then as I went along, build the ridge, put the crowns in and backfill. Mark them and finally give a water. This year obviously won't pick any, but hopefully we'll see some life before too long. And over here, weeded out other globe artichokes, which were previously grown in pots in the greenhouse area. So brassica cage, which I've still got to put some netting on. That's becoming more urgent, I think. Weeded out. We was beginning to get some weeds, and that area has been weeded. I may now put some cardboard down and put a bed in. Look at that, a rogue potato. Obviously from my predecessors. Over here, broad beans, looking okay. Look at all the moaning I've done, and now it's all looking okay. A little bit behind my neighbours, but who cares? Garlic, more broad beans, and the beetroot. Remember also the beetroot, when I transplanted it, it wasn't happy for a few weeks. Now looking nice and healthy. It's all looking good. Ironically, the spring onions that weren't looking great when I planted them are suffering maybe because of the heat. I'm going to give everything a water straight after this. And I accidentally cooked many of the lettuce seedlings that I originally grew, but what was left I've planted here. And they are still suffering because they've been transplanted, but I'll give them a water straight after this. Peas is a funny thing. Here are the peas. And if you look, yes, they're all going to get a water, but something has systematically pulled them up just from this side, from this corner. It's very odd. So that's rather odd, but as you'll see in the back at home, things are taken care of for that. Potatoes really growing now, growing so quickly. And let's go and have a look in the strawberry cage, because not only is the foliage growing, we actually have flowers this now. So need to do some weeding in here. And over in the corner, the blueberries, the necrocarius compost, are flowering. Now when I had them at home, there wasn't enough light, and I don't think they ever flowered, which is why last year I didn't get any blueberries. But this year I'm hoping it's going to be a different story. I'm going to be planting some more cauliflower, and I'm going to give these a watering. Spring cabbage is looking great, but I'm going to, why I popped here is I was worried about the seedlings might dry out. So actually it's a working day, but I've taken an extra bit of floats. I've got rather a lot of coir, which is coconut husk, which expanded from a block. Look, let's just cut away and sort of see how you expand coconut coir. And the only thing in the greenhouse now is sweet corn, because most rest is at home. But very soon I need to clear all this out, weed it, get the beds built up a bit, with some extra compost ready for the tomatoes and cucumbers. So that's everything here. Let's have a quick recap of seedlings back at Wayne Manor. Okay. Well, it is glorious. Maybe a little bit worrying that it's this early in the year. Here we have a second load of peas. Need watering every day at the moment, and the fennel. And you see the peas are sprouting, so it won't be long before they'll go out to fill those gaps on the plot. The tomatoes are, for the most part, happy. They're out here now because the warm weather means I can at least keep them out. The herbs have done well. Actually, no, there's a little bit of herbs finally happening. I think maybe they were too hot. I need to take the bottom ones out. The middle ones is basil. I'm not quite sure why nothing's happening there. Little bit of overheating again, even stuff left outside. This is chard, looking great. And spring onions. But one thing, and I gave them a good water yesterday, with these 2 trays of radish. And I think maybe the problem is using CD trays, Charles Dowding trays, is that because they're small pot modules, if you don't water them consistently, they dry out, and most of them appear to have died off. Also, these cabbages, despite regular watering, a little too much. These were not put inside. It's just been outside. It's supposed to be in the strong sun. This is Carentan leek. Nothing happened yet, but they've only just been sown. So looking forward to that. Now look at this. These are more lettuces, and they are looking jolly good. So hopefully they won't get cooked, and we shall have them. So that leaves one very quick look over in under the glow lights, and after that we'll start thinking about what we're doing during the week. And finally, underneath the grow lights, and it's all cucumbers. May sow a few more. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe if you want to, and see you next time.